to order. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with justice for all. Morning, everyone. Start with the approval of the last meeting's minutes that were sent out ahead of our meeting. Is there a second? Motion by Commissioner Kleeman, seconded by Commissioner Olson to approve our minutes from our last meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. The approval of the agenda. Al, anything?
Yes, the Duke low water crossing.
Craig?
Storm days.
Bob? Okay. And I have nothing. I would look for approval of the agenda as with the additions.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Olson, seconded by Commissioner Kleeman to approve the agenda with the additions. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Okay, public comment, we have Tom Steffen has asked. So Tom, if you'd like to come up to the mic.
Morning.
Yeah, good morning,
Morning.
Tom.
Not my favorite place to be, but
That's so everybody can hear.
as a taxpayer in the county, I want to know if anybody's put any numbers together as to what opening the courthouse late yesterday cost us. Because I look at it as they come out an hour and a half, 2.5 hours late, and yet we're paying them to not be here. We pay our road department double time. They didn't come to work. And I'm thinking, how in the world can we put our kids on school buses and yet our courthouse can't be open? Now, I don't have business at the courthouse early in the morning, but I have a problem with taking my money, my tax dollars, paying wages for people not to have to show up to work. I get it. I understand that if the roads are bad, we can't force these people to drive. I would not want to make that call to say, no, you have to be here. But if you feel you can't be here, you come 2.5 hours late, you either take PTO time or you take time without pay. It shouldn't cost me. That's my comment. The other thing I'd like to say is, can you guys please consider having meetings at 5 o'clock at night, one meeting a month? See if we can get more people from the county to come to meetings. They usually last 2.5 hours, 3 hours. So we're done by 8. I don't think that's too much to ask. We do have employees here that probably need to be here, but we can put them on the agenda first. And they can go home, they can do whatever they want after that. But I think it'd be something to get the community more involved. And I know you guys have done like coffee with people, and that's just my comment.
Well, thank you. Okay. Engineer reports. Carl.
Morning.
Morning. Morning.
Brief update for you guys today. 12th Street, working on the final easements for that project. We're putting together the bid documents for tentative April 15th bid opening. Just trying to iron out a few of them last easements, so good progress there. 16th Street, we did get the permit secured recently. We have to mitigate 0.6 of an acre. I did reach out to Ducks Unlimited for availability letter. I did get a reply today, but I don't have the cost yet. So by next meeting, we'll have that for sure. We do have to do some fencing and cultural monitoring on that around the cultural site. We are beginning to schedule easement meetings with landowners to secure those easements on that project, and I anticipate that here in the next few months out to bid as well and constructed in 2026. 20th Street, final design is about done. We are in review phase of the 90% plans. We do have some wetland disturbance on that one as well, and I've also requested credit availability for that project. We're still working through the existing easements on that project, as there's an old 1961 easement all the way through that project. We'll incorporate those findings into our final easement documents. No changes really on 86th and 9th. 98th, we're finalizing that permit application. I'll have it ready for Mike's signature soon. 2026 projects, working through our preliminary grading and draining design. We're still waiting on those environmental and cultural reports. We do have some of the site locations from GIS, so we're designing around those right now. On 79th, I did speak with the NDOT archaeologist at the conference last week. Sounds like we should be able to get an exemption for that historic bridge on there, since it really is not it meets the age, but not really the style of bridge for preservation. So it shouldn't be an issue on that one moving forward. So any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carl.
Cheers.
Morning, Darren.
I also have some updates for you. So we'll start with our construction project. So 119th Avenue Southwest. So CSI did contact us last week and they are planning on breaking ground the week after Easter. We've started contacting the landowners just to kind of make them aware of what's going on. We'll keep the road department and commission up to date as more information as possible. And I contacted you, Madam Chairman, as well. So should see some action out there. For 99th Avenue Southwest, we also got a hold of Martin Construction and they're planning on finishing the project as soon as the frost is out. And they just don't want to make a mess up there. If you guys recall, they have some topsoiling and seeding yet to finish. And we'll keep in contact with Martin. And again, we'll update the road department commission as needed. I spoke with Mr. Carey in the bag too about the county's graveling that project once that's finished too. So he's aware of that and he has that on his radar. So for Manning, the contracts for the waterline improvement project to JK Excavation in the amount of $1,500,300 are presented for signature. Ms. Lorenz, I believe, has those for signature. I'm not sure if they need to be voted on, seeing that it's already been somewhat awarded, but if so, we can get those signed today and get that rolling. We should start getting submittals on that. And then we can coordinate a pre-construction meeting in the near future. Should probably slow down. Do you have any questions on anything I've said so far? Okay. Next, so for 2025 projects, so for 7th Street Southwest, 101st to 97th, we're still working through the one remaining landowner, and I heard that was added to the agenda. I'm not sure if you want to talk about that now or whenever you do, but that's kind of what's on hold on that. We have every other easement ready to go, and I think he's kind of trying to horse trade on that one too. So I'm not sure if you want to talk about that now or if you want to wait till later, but.
I guess we could just well get it taken care of. I've had contacts with Cody and it seems that there's some confusion. Apparently years ago, the bridge was sold to Ducarts, but I don't think we can find any actual record. You know, I think Mike has been trying to dig through that. The problem I have is traffic is still crossing that bridge. And I looked at it a while back. That bridge is pretty unsafe. Apparently the road is closed, but I think we could find that, correct, Mike?
It's closed. Oh, is it?
So what Cody was asking us to do is if we could take the bridge out, put a low water crossing in. Because someday somebody's probably gonna fall through it, then the question will be, whose bridge is it? Is it a county's bridge? Is it Ducart's bridge? But I think the last low water crossings we've put in were anywhere from 60 to 90,000 depending on the creek. So I'm looking for some direction because I know he's wanting to get this done to sign the easement on the project. I know it's kind of a trade-off, but I'll look to the rest of the board to how you want to deal with that. So
My understanding that was several years ago, that the bridge is off the section line a little bit. I'm not sure, I'm just asking.
It's on a curve. It's kind of cockeyed when it comes in and the road curves off, so.
And then another question I had with the bridge is, was that considered personal property when it was sold to, if it was, it wouldn't be recorded, so. Anyway, I'm just wondering if we shouldn't, have our state's attorney look into some of the things before we move forward. And then if the road is closed, are we doing the low water crossing just for one? I just have questions. I think we need to get an opinion from the state's attorney. It's kind of a mess the way that was.
Well, it
all
is
done.
because there's no record it was ever paid for. So do we still own it? Regardless if it's on the section line or off the section line, it was built there probably 75 years ago. I mean,
Or more.
or
Is there-
more. I don't
Is there
know.
any county easements
Uh,
for the road that was there?
There,
I know we've been researching this for some time and we just can't seem to get a good handle. So I guess maybe that would be the idea, reach out for a state's attorney to get his opinion and then we can go from there. So, we should try and get that done fairly soon. So it's hinging on a project that Darren is ready to pull the trigger on, so.
And I guess if we are looking at putting a low water crossing, I want to make sure that there's public access to go back through there again. If we're gonna spend the money to put a crossing, then it should be public access to use it.
Absolutely.
oh, okay. Pat, I see that you're on now. Did you hear this conversation about that bridge?
Yeah, I've been on since the beginning. I think I talked to somebody a couple of weeks ago about this. The county's certainly able to expend public funds on an improvement like this if you deem it's beneficial for the public's welfare. It doesn't really matter whether it's on a section line road or it's not. That's not really the determining issue. The issue would be the cost. Okay, and that's totally within the commission's discretion as to whether it wants to expend money to repair, improve, or maintain that bridge. I agree that the commissioner, I think it was the commissioner I talked to, that the bridge is fallen down, which certainly creates a public hazard. I don't believe we have any liability for that because there's no evidence at this point that it was ever a public structure or that anything negligent was done in its maintenance. If you do install it, as far as liability purposes go, unless there's some negligence in the design, construction, or improvement, there would be no liability. North Dakota's pretty good about protecting government entities from tort liability. I think the issue here really, can you do it? The answer is yes. Should you do it? That's your call as to whether the cost, the juice is commensurate with the squeeze. There's nothing that prohibits repairing it. I understand, Commissioner, the concern that it does set a prior precedent. There will be other structures like this down the road. So like a lot of the projects we get involved in, due process requires that you treat everybody the same. So if something like this occurs in the future, past performance will be reviewed to determine whether or not future behavior should be conducted. So is there anything prohibiting you from doing it? No. As far as the cost goes, solely the commission's responsibility. If you guys want us to take a look at it, I'll be happy to. So those are just basically my generic comments without actually having reviewed the project itself.
Thank you, Pat.
Yep.
Well, I think that's a great idea. And if of agreement, like Dave brought up, the road should be open to the public. I mean, that if we do choose to move forward, it'll have to be something in agreement between Mr. Dukart and the county. So not over comment. Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll have further conversation with the state's attorney and I guess to make sure that the section line is either closed or not closed is,
Or if they'll open it.
yeah, that would be up to us, I guess.
Any more discussion on 101st and
Okay.
87th? Okay, moving on. So on the second part of 7th, which was 97th to 94th, at the last commission meeting, there was maybe some desire to potentially build that project now this year. If you recall, it was pushed till next year, but now there's could be the urge to build that one this year too, which would make sense too, especially if you're doing the other part of 7th. But we compiled after the last commission meeting, then we went forward and we compiled all the exhibits for the right of way, and we're going to begin collecting right of way on that too. See if we can knock those out. For 3rd Street, that one is still tabled until 2027. So we're focusing on our 7th projects. And it's probably just, I think all the consultants are probably already aware, but a lot of 404 permits that were granted last year, they expired actually in March because they were waiting for the new regulations to come in. It's a pretty easy process to get your permits updated if they haven't begun construction. So just kind of heads up for everybody, just contact the Corps and you can get an extension on your permit. So, last item that I have is the 2026 projects. If you recall on that, we still are kind of going back and forth with the one remaining landowner on a cultural survey. I was talking to Mr. Carey in the back now, and I guess he has a relationship with one of the landowners, and so that's going to be our next step to see if he has any success. That's all I have for you all today.
Any questions for Darren?
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Islands.
Morning, Commissioners. Andrew Schrank with Highlands Engineering. Just one project update you on today, our 15th Street Southwest and 118th Avenue Southwest reconstruction project. We're continuing to work on getting easements and meetings with owners to discuss these improvements. We have struggled to get responses from a couple parties out there, so we're going to start working with the county to see if we can find ways to get a hold of those individuals and get responses. Otherwise, once we get those easements, we'll try to get this finalized and ready for bid as soon as we can. Any questions?
Just reach out to Mike and
Will do.
if he needs help. We're sure willing to help him.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
Mike, oh, no, Jeremy. Getting ahead of myself.
Good morning. Just a
Morning.
couple real brief updates. Getting that time of the year where construction is going to happen pretty soon. The 10th Street, 113th Avenue and 7th Street, that was bid last year. Bronco Brothers is building on that. They're thinking of starting sometime in early April. So the next couple weeks, I would expect that would be underway. The paving phase of that project, we haven't heard much of a detailed schedule other than late summer for that project. Looking back, we bid that in December. I'm really glad we bid that with the elevated oil prices now. I think hopefully you guys saved a bunch of money by bidding it in December versus now. It'd be kind of problematic to bid a paving project this time of year, I guess. 103rd Avenue, that was bid, I think, in January or February. Schwartz is going to be the contractor on that project. We're looking at a pre-construction meeting next week, Monday at our office. They want to get started as soon as weather allows. So whether that's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I don't really know, but we'll know more next week. So the design projects, 92nd Avenue, we do have that bid opening scheduled for next meeting, which is April 1st, for that double cell box culvert, which is on 92nd Avenue. I think it's about 1.5 miles north of Highway 200 for that project. 114th, we're also working on that kind of remaining easement. Hopefully get resolution on that later this week. We're showing an April bid opening. That's still a possibility, but we're probably going to be forced into maybe like a May 1st bid opening for that project. Other than that, there's a couple other projects that we're getting easements on, but those are the two projects we're pretty close to either scheduling a bid opening or having a bid opening on April 1st for the 92nd Avenue project. Any questions? I think that was pretty much the extent of my updates.
Jeremy, I know you and I've had a discussion on that one project, the last mile. I mean, if it's impossible to acquire the right of way, I don't know what this board thinks, but I think the worst of it is further to the south through the hills there. So I mean, if we can't get the right of way, it's the last mile, and you say that's probably the best mile of the project. I think we should proceed ahead and do what we can, and maybe someday do that last mile, but it's open for discussion.
Yeah, the project we're talking about is on 114th. Kind of goes through the breaks. There's really 1 mile that we're just kind of getting very little to no response from the landowners. But there is the 1.5 miles that gentleman does not own, which is really the worst part of the road. Everyone else is on board with the project. We just can't get a response from the one. So it'd be kind of my recommendation to get at least that 1.5 miles, get the worst part corrected. Hopefully we can get the other gentleman on board, but if not, we can at least get the worst part of the road fixed or improved anyway.
I've reached out too with no luck, so we'll try a little harder yet.
Right. Yeah, we got a little bit of time, but rather than wait, I think let's just maybe tackle the worst of the worst. Okay.
I agree with that.
Okay.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
We don't have any utility permits. I do have the Fisher gravel pit. I'm gonna need you guys to vote on and sign. And I do believe you guys have the Rick Reams one here. I do believe, Janet. I think Sally said she had it. Should be up here someplace.
Rings.
Okay. And the guys are getting geared up to crack seal right now. And we've been fixing some soft spots on Second Street Northwest, up by 1806. We fixed a few soft spots over on Spring Creek Road. I don't know if you guys seen that over there. Had some big heaves, and we figured out a little bit better way to fix them, so. Al's idea. Been using the ash and the lime, and it's a lot cheaper and seems to work a lot better.
Is that where the road was kind of heaving?
Heaving, yep, yep, and it solided it up and seems to be working good.
I think they call them frost boils.
Yeah,
Some years are worse than others.
yeah. So, and that's about it. The only other thing I had to discuss with you guys is, I got a couple of requests. I got 4 people on the road department that, one of them's Dan Gross, Kevin Cavernin, Rory Myron. And, those 3 guys are in a lead position. And Dan is marked in the B-22 band. And he's way below everybody else. And he never received the $1.50 raise, so there's some truck drivers that are above him, but he's the lead, he's the truck driver lead. And so I would request that he be bumped up to a B-24 band. Kevin Cavernin, he's the lead person for Manning. All these guys, I've asked them to step up and do a lot more, and they have. They're doing a great job. When they got promoted, they were up to the top of their band, so they didn't receive their full dollar. And the same thing with Rory Myron, and those guys are, all three of them, Kevin and Rory are at a B-23 band, and I'd like to bump them up to the B-24 band. And then the fourth one is Lori Tabor. She's at a B-23, and I'd like to bump her to a B-24. She does a lot more than administrative. I mean, I don't know what I'd do without her. I mean, I think, well, I'd be the fourth one that she's trained. So, and I'm sure I mean, she would never admit that, that we do depend on her, but we do. I mean, and she's up to the top, and I would like to put her in a B-24 also. I mean, the guys, I mean, it's unfair to ask them to do extra work and to step up. I've asked them to step up. I've asked them to do extra, and they've delivered. And it's just not right to ask them to do more.
So or Al, did you have?
No, I would just,
Oh.
I kind of agree with Mike, because, when we give Mike this interim position, I said, lean on your leaders to help. And I think that's what he's done. And even a while back, and I was I guess I wasn't aware of it, but when we give everybody the same raise last year, I didn't realize they bumped their band and they didn't get the full $1.50 like everybody else got. So
No, they didn't.
I was not aware of that, but I'm not sure where these numbers are at, but I would, support paying our leaders a little extra.
So Mike, I'm wondering if maybe, you and Desi and myself, I'm a portfolio holder, if we could meet and look,
Yeah.
without looking at everything, it's kind of hard to make a decision
Yeah.
right now. But
Sure.
so if we could arrange meeting with HR and see how we can make something
Sure.
work out. Okay. Any other comments? Thank you.
And that's it for me.
Yep.
Mike, no other questions for you guys? No? Okay,
Thanks a lot.
thank you, guys.
So is, I don't know if Sarah is on or is she gonna stop in?
Her vehicle's at the shop this morning. She's probably here.
She'll probably, yeah. Okay. So gaming site authorization. Before we move on, we need to address this lease agreement for gravel with Rick Reams.
Madam Chair, I'd make a motion to sign the lease agreement between Reams and Fishers.
Motion by Commissioner Heiser, seconded by Commissioner Kleeman to authorize approval of the lease agreement between Reams and Fisher. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Sarah. The nick of time.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The local fire chiefs requested that I come before you to request the burn restriction be set in place again for this year. I did send it all to you and it was in your commissioner folder. So are there any questions on the declaration that was sent?
I think it's a good idea.
Madam Chairman, I move that we go ahead and reinstate the fire burn as presented to us.
Motion by Commissioner Pelton, seconded by Commissioner Kleeman to reinstate the fire emergency declaration and burn restrictions. So basically, this means that everything goes by the fire index.
Correct.
Rangeland index.
The first restriction though is that at all levels pits are not allowed at this time. And Chief Hauk with West Dunn requested that I also state that we will be monitoring the weather, and if there's a shift in the weather that would possibly allow that, we would come back.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I got a question for Sarah. Somebody asked me this morning and I guess I didn't have an answer. Was there a fire east of Richardson by the Schnell Ranch this weekend?
I'm not fully aware, but I do know,
But I don't think
No. Somebody
I-
asked me about it. I said, I
I-
didn't know.
do know that one of the fire chiefs that I talked to that's on the south end said that they had gone out and fought a fire and it was super dry out there. So it might have been that one, because it was either Chief Alman or Chief Landis, and I can't remember which one it was.
they were both out. They had Taylor and Richard, and it was big. It went fast. It was that really windy Saturday.
Oh, that was horrible. Icky.
So Sarah, while you're here.
Yep.
I had added to the agenda the Halliday and Killdeer ambulance situation. Can
Yes.
you just so the full commission is aware of what's going on?
So, Halliday's ambulance service is struggling to keep personnel staffed 24/7, 365. So one of the solutions that came up was to combine forces as far as personnel. So we're taking those next steps to try to do that. And right now, the first step first discussion was to, Halliday would keep their own license, their own ambulance taxing district and service district, and then contract with Killdeer for management. That was the discussion earlier this week.
Thank you, Sarah. So the Killdeer Ambulance Board met Monday night, and the Halliday Ambulance Board was online, so we had a discussion together, and both are in agreement that it's probably in the best interest of the residents to work together. So also at the meeting online was Adam Parker. He's an attorney out of Bismarck, who kind of specializes in EMS and these kind of things. So we're looking to contract with him to help with all the legalities of this contract, because it does get a little bit, there's a lot to consider.
Yes.
So I guess one of the questions that came up was if the county would be willing to help with the cost of the legal costs. Killdeer Ambulance runs on a very small margin, and Halliday, they share 5 mills with the fire department. And so in order to make this work, that was one of the requests. We talked about, we would become Dunn County Ambulance Killdeer and Dunn County Ambulance Halliday. And we would cover almost all of the county. So anyway.
Madam Chair, I would support that. Anybody that's ever waited for an ambulance, like myself, really appreciates it when one comes. So I think we need to do whatever we need to do to help, because that's a very important service that we can't be without or lack. I guess, what are you thinking?
One of the reasons why we would keep separate licenses and contract is to ensure that down the road, different personnel don't decide that, well, we've got enough people just to do it in Killdeer, if we would become totally one entity. So it's ensuring that there will always be an ambulance service in the Halliday Dodge area.
We put money into them anyhow, so
Yeah.
I'd be in favor of, if you need a motion, I'd say that we go
Yeah,
ahead and.
yeah,
help
that'd be
with the
great.
Legal fees to get this organized.
Second.
Okay, so there's a motion by Commissioner Pelton, seconded by Commissioner Heiser to help with the legal fees for the contract agreement between Halliday and Kildare Ambulance. Any further discussion? We'll have a roll call vote.
Commissioner Heiser?
Yes.
Commissioner Olson?
Yes.
Commissioner Pelton?
Yes.
Commissioner Kleeman?
Yes.
Commissioner Dozel?
Yes, the motion carries. Thank you.
Anything else?
Yeah,
Sarah,
we'll keep you
Yes.
posted.
would it be possible, there's a fire somewhere that you could text the 5 commissioners and tell us where it's at?
E-dispatch.
There's,
Yeah, I
Craig
mean,
gets a lot of calls. I get calls too, if it's north, they ask where it's at. And if we just had if it was back in the mountains somewhere, and someone called, I could say.
yeah, I
Problem with me.
no, I don't necessarily, so part of I don't necessarily get all of the south part of the county. So I don't know about all of those fires. I do get all the notifications for West Dunn and Halliday. I don't get Dickinson Rural, South Hart, Gladstone, Taylor, Richton.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You notify with E-dispatch?
yes,
When I was at Stark, I always knew where the fires were and to help with water. And even if I was on our end of the county, I've always got a trailer with 1,200 gallons of water sometimes.
right.
I mean, if a guy needed to help it, if a guy knew.
It probably wouldn't hurt to have Mike notified. on
Right.
the-
I can talk to, Brian and Trevor to get Mike on the list.
Send an idea if they might be needing to send water or
Yep. I can get them added.
faster that way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Bid opening is at 10. Gaming site authorization? Okay, so this is the site authorization form from Dunn County Fair Association for continuing the gaming site at the Doghouse Bar. And it would begin July 1st, 26 through June 30th of 27. So they're just asking for approval for that.
Madam Chairman, I move for approve the gaming site authorization.
There's second.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Pelton, seconded by Commissioner Olson to approve the gaming site authorization for the Doghouse Bar. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We'll take a break now until we have our bid opening. Be back at 10 o'clock. These other things. 10 o'clock, so we'll now have the bid opening on the McKenzie Bay Marina Road Restoration Project.
Okay, good morning. Our first bid is from Bechtel Paving Incorporated. Okay, total base bid, $1,705,862.14. $1,705,862.14. Our next bid is from Strata Corporation. Total base bid, $1,439,590.41. $1,439,590.41. Okay, our next bid is from Central Specialties Incorporated. Total base bid, $1,717,935.00. $1,717,935.00. Okay, our next bid is from Mayo Construction Incorporated. Total base bid, $1,523,586.90. $1,523,586.90. This is our bid from Keller Paving and Landscaping Incorporated. Total base bid, $1,509,699.90. $1,509,669.90. I believe that's it.
Okay, that was the last bid. I want to thank the bidders for submitting bids on this project. And Eric? Is engineering has some information for us.
Good morning, Commissioners, Madam
Morning.
Chair. I would like to take those with me as Al's getting them to me, and just double check the math. And then we still have to work with, what we'll do is we'll work with the parent low bidder to get some information as far as their staging area and some pit locations, and we need to get that to the Corps of Engineers yet. And then the Corps will work with us, and we'll work with the low bidder to come back to you at a future date to award this contract, so.
Okay.
The bids seem good.
Okay, do you want to report back this meeting with the bid tabulation, or should we table this until the next?
Actually, I didn't bring anything with me to do the
Oh,
bid
okay.
tabulation, so I could maybe report at the next meeting with
Yep.
that if you guys want.
Yep.
Okay.
Then you'll have all the.
I don't know how long
areas and-
yeah, I might have that information. I'm not sure how long it'll take, but I'll let you guys know.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Guess
you.
we need a motion to table awarding the bid. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Kleeman, seconded by Commissioner Olson to table the award of the bid on the McKenzie Bay project. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Yeah, thanks
Right.
a lot.
Thank you.
Yep.
No, I won't.
Can do now. Talked about part low water. Okay, Friday holiday pay under unfinished business. Believe that was tabled. Sure. Yeah, we tabled the Friday holiday pay, so we need a motion to remove from the table to discuss.
Table for the 25th job meeting,
Yeah,
discuss it a little
Mhm.
more in there.
just leave that tabled till after our workshop meeting. Okay, storm days. That was Commissioner Pelton.
Okay, I guess on storm days, I believe that if you work, you should get paid. I mean, it's costing the county a lot of money. Pay these people to stay home and double time. I think it's, you work, you get paid. If you don't work, you don't get paid. I think it's pretty simple thing. I think it's the public is not happy with what we're doing.
I agree with you, Craig, because I've had a few calls that, Mr. Stefan brought up some good points this morning. And I kind of agree. If you can make it to work, you get paid. If you don't, I don't know how many other organizations then pay people that can double time. So I think you're right. I think it'd be just shocking to see what it actually costs us to pay, not to show up, pay double time. So I agree. I don't think we should change that policy.
I'd move that we go ahead and change our policy from paying hours off on storm days to, if you work, you get paid. You don't get paid. Everybody's got the option of, if they can't make it to work, they can take a vacation day. We give them plenty of them.
So that, you made that motion?
Yep.
Craig?
I'd second it.
Motion by Commissioner Pelton, second by Commissioner Pizer, to change our policy on, storm days.
Hey,
Okay. So I guess just for discussion's sake, I don't know that we can just do that by motion right now. I think when you change policy or address policy, you need to have a first and second reading. So we need the language dealt with. So, I think the policy's been in place for years and I know back when it was put in place, it was, if through no fault of your own, you shouldn't lose your pay. And I understand your point. I do. But I think that the proper way to deal with this would be to, policy committee work on policy language with HR, bring it in for first reading and second reading.
I might make my motion that they go ahead and work on this and bring it back to us next meeting.
Are you okay with that?
And then another comment is too, that is, I'd like to see where it's in our current handbook, exactly the way we're operating. I kind of breeze through it. I look at it time to time, but I'd like to see in our handbook where it states just where. So I'd like whoever is in charge of that, send me a copy because I'd sure love to see it. That's in our current handbook.
So for clarification, the motion from you, Commissioner Pelton, is that we direct the policy committee to work on, with HR, to work on language for storm pay.
That we remove that they work on language to remove it. Hey,
Is that your understanding for
Yes.
the second? Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. And a county project engineer. Um, that was added to the agenda after discussion with, Commissioner Pelton and, Brian Fuchs, Lori Tabor, and, I had spoke with Matt Johnson. I guess the way I see it, now would be the time to, make a decision to move forward with hiring a county engineer to, or project engineer to oversee all the, I mean, we have over $90 million we've put money into for road projects, engineering or whatever, and there's a lot, and it's a lot on the road superintendent. The other thing I found out, the other big three counties, oil counties, Montreal, McKenzie, and Williams, have county engineers and I believe a road superintendent under them. So I think maybe now would be the time to move forward with that. What I'd like to see, I think would be good to set up a kind of a roundtable with the engineers that we use right now. And Matt Johnson, Matt's here, and he had sent kind of a job description of what that position would mean, but so that we all have a chance to look at it, and then maybe discuss with our county engineers that they can maybe provide some insight and we can, how this would work. So that's why it's on the agenda. Craig, do you have anything to add?
So we would do that. Would we keep moving forward with our search for a superintendent right now then?
Yeah, I mean, that'd be a question for the.
Or would we wait until we decide what we're gonna do there?
So- Yeah, I think that's why it would be good for us to meet and talk with the engineers, see what we can kind of come up with that would be beneficial to the county. There's just a lot on a road superintendent to oversee all these.
He's gonna need a survey crew. I mean, there's a lot of unanswered questions, so he's gonna need a survey crew. I mean, there's a lot of unanswered questions, so I just, I don't know. I honestly think some days, things are gonna slow down in our county. Are we gonna be doing all these projects? Hopefully we are. But, I think we need to, like Craig says, let's take a look and let's get our superintendent hired back and then, rather than search for this year, but I think we need to do a lot more talking about this and what it's really gonna cost the county at the end of the day to have a professional engineer and staff.
I think we need to find out what we're gonna do before we hire our
Mhm.
superintendent, probably, so they have, those applying
Yeah.
know what they're stepping into.
Well, I would suggest or look for a motion to maybe move forward with this in at least exploring hiring an engineer. Going over, I know Matt had sent out a job description the other day. We can go through that. We can discuss it with Mike, a road superintendent. Just kind of a roundtable, discuss some ideas with the engineers to see, so everyone knows what their responsibilities are. I guess I would kind of like to see us explore it. And I think now would be the time.
I'd like to have some more conversation on
Yeah,
it, I guess,
yeah.
so.
And we don't want to just be a knee-jerk reaction and,
Yeah.
but I think that it would lead to better environment and more success for the county.
And I'd like to, see if our job opening is leave that open until we decide what we're gonna do.
Mhm.
Not have a close and
Yeah.
have to make a decision without.
Yeah, because it all affects all the employees in the road departments.
I'd have another comment, I guess I'm kind of against it, but the more, we visit about things, if we would hire an engineer, I think we could probably eliminate one of the positions of the top three that we have. Because I feel that, I mean, if you talk to some of these engineers strict with the counties, they have a lot to do with projects and other than projects daily. duties too, so I'd be support of going along with it, but like Craig said, let's see what's out there and if we could maybe do this and eliminate one other position to help cover that.
Well, I'd move then that we go ahead and look into the hiring the engineer, getting job descriptions and stuff done. And,
Conversations.
yep, and not hiring our superintendent until we have that figured out.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Pelton, second by Commissioner Kleeman to move forward with looking to hire a county engineer and explore, I guess, options. Yeah. And not leave the road superintendent position open until we make a decision. Any further comments? Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Thank you.
I guess I got one comment. I'd like to ask Mike, are you doing all right by yourself? I mean, are you getting everything covered? Not that, because I mean, you're taking the spot of two people now.
But Julie came today just so she could see him.
Yeah.
Julie came today so she could see him.
All right.
Commissioner Clayman, just Mike's not afraid to reach out. I know he reached out to Craig and myself and other people too.
He's got the other guys stepping up.
Yeah, his crew definitely stepped up and they're doing that, so.
Lori's really stepping up for him, doing a lot for him. And
Well, that's good because I hate to see you standing out there by yourself trying to run the whole road department. So
Team effort.
thanks to those guys for stepping up.
Hey, 10:15, it's 10:18. And Sandy has the second reading and adoption of floodplain ordinance and CUPs and moratorium date.
Good morning.
Sandy.
I'm asking for the approval of the second reading and adoption of our floodplain ordinance so we can stay in standards and in good standing with FEMA and our National Insurance Floodplain program.
I'll move to approve the second read, adopt the policy for the floodplain ordinance.
second.
Motion by Commissioner Olson, seconded by Commissioner Pelton to approve the second reading and adoption of the floodplain ordinance. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries.
And Tracy, I'll have to have you sign this later. Okay. We had our planning and zoning meeting last Tuesday, and there was one application from Elkin Inc. for water depot up on the Ecker Family Living Trust.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the conditional use permit for the water pond.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Heiser, seconded by Commissioner Pelton to approve the CUP for a water pond. The Eckert Family Living Trust. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries.
Thank you. And then at the discussion at the planning and zoning hearing was the Planning and Zoning Board is recommending putting a 12-month moratorium on data centers, solar energy and battery facilities until we get our, we have nothing in our ordinance currently. And so we don't allow that, and we need to get those in our ordinance. So that would help us have that time to get our ordinance updated. We'll start after we get the wind energy ordinance done, so.
Madam Chairman, I'd move that we put a moratorium on data centers, solar energy and battery facilities for 1 year.
Second.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Pelton, second by Commissioner Kleeman to put a moratorium on data centers, solar energy and battery facilities for 1 year. Any
Would-
discussion?
Madam Chairman, oh,
Would we be able to shorten that if we get the policies in place?
I was just going to say, if we get the policies in place, it's easier for us to bring it, lift it.
Cause I brought it up to.
Yeah.
Do a 6 month and they said we're better off do a year and back then.
Yeah.
As soon as we're done.
Oh,
Maybe
we'll
just
lift
amend
it.
your motion to up to a year then. That work?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
That way,
Okay.
Okay, up to 1 year. Okay. All in favor of the motions, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you. And then we have XTO. Are you online? Well, I had told him to get on early.
Oh, okay.
Kevin Anderson for that. I believe you got the information for the section line encroachment.
Hi, good morning. Yes.
Yes.
I'm online.
Okay, he's on now.
Is it Kevin?
Yeah.
Okay. Kevin, go ahead.
Good morning, County Commissioners, Madam Chair. My name is.
Can you
Kevin
turn up the
Anderson.
volume? We couldn't hear you very well, Kevin.
And the volume needs to go a little higher. I don't know if that's on our end or your end.
I think maybe on your end, but can you guys hear me okay?
Hey, I think if you talk a little louder, we'll be able to hear you.
Okay. Good morning, County Commissioners, Madam Chair. My name is Kevin Anderson. I am the Commercial and Land Advisor for ExxonMobil XTO and submitted 2 separate section line encroachment permits for well pads in Dunn County. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
email.
Sally was going to
I
put
think
it
it
in.
was sent out a while ago.
Yeah, it was sent.
Oh, it was, yeah.
You guys talk about the planning and zoning at all?
No, we
No.
don't
Nope,
have anything.
we
to
don't
do
have
with that.
nothing with that there. But you're not gonna have any structures on the section line itself?
The well pads themselves cross the section line. But I do not believe we have facilities placed directly on the line.
Okay. And this is up in the Badlands to where there ain't no other way around and.
That's correct. The topography is very difficult to deal with in these couple of different areas that we are planting these 2 well pads. And we've adjusted them as much as we can. And you know, I think if you take a look at the topo maps, you could see what I'm talking about. It's very steep country.
Madam Chairman, I'd move to go ahead and approve the section line encroachment for XTO.
There's a second.
Yeah, I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Pelton, seconded by Commissioner Olson to approve the section line encroachment for XTO. Any further questions or discussion? Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Hi.
Aye, opposed, motion carries.
Tracy, I
Thank you.
have this
Yep.
paper you'll have to sign later.
Full of vouchers. Jennifer sent out our list of vouchers to us ahead of time.
Just the one amendment we talked about where the interstate engineering bill should move from capital projects to road department.
I got a question for Mike. What's this Snow Wheel System Incorporated? Snow wheel. We'll put, okay, wheels, okay, thank you.
I'll move to.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Olson, seconded by Commissioner Pelton to approve the vouchers as presented with the one change to the expense of interstate to road department. Any further discussion? A roll call vote?
Commissioner Heiser?
Yes.
Commissioner Olson?
Yes.
Commissioner Pelt?
Yes.
Commissioner Kleeman?
Yes.
Commissioner Dolzall?
Yes, the motion carries. Portfolio reports? Anybody have anything to bring up?
Sir? Go ahead and ask him.
Hmm?
Ask him.
Where's the housing? As far as where we at?
Middle of April 14th, 15th, whatever that Wednesday is, and we're hoping we've got a couple applications in by that time. We had a meeting, was it 2-3 weeks ago, and a builder came in and he was gonna get his application put together and submit to us, so we're hoping to get some houses going here pretty quick. Have them ready by that April meeting.
You got a lot to put it on and stuff if you get.
They were gonna be using them killdeer lots there. Yeah, he was
Progress.
progress.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
pretty hopeful.
Just on the food pantry portfolio, the food pantry roundup is now open, not completely. Everything isn't completely set, but Monday night there was a JDA meeting there. And this coming Monday, we have coffee chat in Killdeer at the roundup. So that's really coming along nicely. They received I believe a $35,000 grant from, I think it was Conical for a sign. So that was very, very well appreciated. Anything else? There's nothing
Motion
else?
to adjourn.
All right, I always look to you, Bob. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Kleeman, second by Commissioner Olson, to, what's the word?
Adjourn.
Adjourn. Resigned. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Meeting adjourned at 10:29.